This World Cup just continues to give entertainment, goals, drama. It's unbelievable. It's so good, and I've got two games to review in today's episode. We've got two games that both went to penalties. First game being Spain and Russia. Russia progressing through 4-3 on penalties. Spain are out. I know, just incredible. And then the second game, which just finished with Croatia and Denmark going to penalties as well, and Croatia winning the battle of the goalkeepers pretty much 3-2 on penalties. So this was a huge day for England fans as well. This is our side of the fixtures. If you imagine the World Cup table as a square, you've got two sides. England are on this side, and the games played today were on this side. It's kind of like seeing who we're going to play against in the future of this tournament should we progress. So we all had a keen eye on the Spain-Russia game, all hoping, I'm hoping you guys were feeling the same way as England fans, that Russia would win, because of course it would be potentially, statistically, an easier team to play against, because Spain, they won the World Cup it's only 8 years ago, and the Euro 6 years ago. I mean, they are still an incredible side, but they've been knocked out. So we'll talk about that game first, and then we'll talk about Croatia-Denmark. So with Spain being knocked out, it means that England definitely 100% have an easier chance now to bring it home, as everyone's talking about. In fact, let me go ahead and tell you guys, if I bring up this little tweet I put out earlier. So these are the teams left in the competition before the Croatia-Denmark game kicked off on our side of the fixtures. So it would have been Croatia, Colombia, Denmark, England, Russia, Switzerland, and Sweden. Those are the potential finalists from our side. And now that we've got no Spain, and now that Denmark have gone out as well, it's considerably easy, or easier, than it was before, because Spain would have been, I think, the toughest game there. I think Croatia arguably are a better team than England, at least when they're playing at the best of their ability. I mean, we saw against, Argentina, almost forgot who it was then, that 3-0 victory, and they were incredible. And Croatia, a pre-match prediction of mine to be a dark horse for the tournament. And I think that if England show up, we can beat them. But right now, as I'm seeing things, I don't think Croatia are particularly good tonight, but they probably will be in the final. So what happened in the Spain-Russia game? How is a team like Spain, with all of these incredible players, their defence, Barca, Madrid, De Gea in goal, Busquets in midfield, Iniesta, David Silva, Isco, up front Diego Costa, how is a team like this being knocked out by Russia? No offence to Russia, but their team isn't great. They've got a couple of good players in there, Golovin, Cheryshev, but really, Spain should have been winning this game, and on paper they were going to smash them. But you never underestimate a team at the World Cup. There is no easy matches, and with the nation behind them, it's their home turf. It was always going to be a very tough game, which is why I'm keen to avoid Russia, who will be playing Croatia in the quarterfinals. So I'll be rooting for... Oh, God, no, I don't want Croatia either. That's going to be an interesting one. I think I'd rather Russia progressed, because I think ultimately there's only so far a team can go when it comes to having the home fans backing you. It comes down to quality at the end of the tournament, and I think England should be able to beat Russia. So I'll be rooting for Russia. But it wouldn't upset me if Croatia go through, because Russia will be a very tough game. But they were incredible. They played very defensively. It was an ugly game. They battled for a win against a very good side. And Spain ultimately just could not break them down. They didn't even score. Technically, it was an own goal. And they didn't really have many other incredibly good chances. It didn't look like they were going to be scoring 2 or 3 goals. The second half was maybe a little bit better for them. But ultimately, Russia used their physicality and the home advantage for sure to just overcome that. And Spain, I think, this could go down as one of their more embarrassing losses, because it is Russia. And I know it's difficult to play the host, but it's Russia. This is Spain we're talking about. Definitely favourites to get to the semis, maybe even the final on our side of the fixtures. But I'm so relieved they're gone, because it does give England a much better chance. Our only real worry, I would say, is Croatia in terms of individual and team quality. I think everyone else that's left, we can beat them. So it could be coming home. I don't want to jinx it though, because obviously winning the World Cup would be incredible. But it's not just about getting to the semis, it's about getting into the final and actually beating potentially Brazil, France. It's going to be tough. Let's talk about the game that just finished, Croatia and Denmark. It was a pretty even game. I expected Croatia to win this game pretty comfortably, you know, with Modric and Rakitic in midfield, and they've got Mandzukic up front. They've got Subasic in goal, who's incredible, although Schmeichel's incredible as well for Denmark. You know, you look at the Danish team, you look at Eriksen, maybe Poulsen on the right. They've got some good players in there, but individuals, again, I know I keep using that word, but it's an interesting point, and I'm keen to bring it up as much as I can, that individuals make a team better as long as they're playing as a team, and Croatia just definitely have more in that team. And it went down to penalties, which I thought was fair. I thought both teams deserved to go to penalties. It didn't feel like a game where someone really deserved to win. It definitely felt like Croatia dominated, but Denmark hit them on the break a lot, and they've got an insanely strong team in terms of actual big guys. You know, they're all 6 foot plus, strong in the air. And Croatia had to be really, really good defensively, and they were, I would say. 2 goals in the first 4 minutes, and then the rest of the game was dead. Pretty funny, that. So, when it went to penalties, it was quite literally the battle of the goalkeepers. Schmeichel, incredible at saving penalties, because we've seen it before in the Premier League, how good he is at saving them. But in extra time, Modric got himself a penalty. Well, he didn't win the penalty, did he? But he took the penalty in the second half of extra time, I think it was, and it was saved by Schmeichel. And you know, with it going to penalties, you think that would be a huge confidence booster for him. And he did save a couple. He did really well in the shootout. But unfortunately, the Danish players' penalties just weren't as good as the Croatians. It wasn't exactly a great penalty shootout in terms of quality, but it was on the edge of your seat. It was intense. And I was so hoping that Denmark would be able to push through and win the game because, again, would have made it easier for England to potentially get to the semis if that's what we can do anyway with our performances. We're playing soon, of course, with Colombia. I think that's going to be a very tough game for us because they're going to be quicker than us, they're going to be more physical than us, but we will soon find out. It depends if James is playing. But another day of the World Cup has gone, and I'm really enjoying it. For me, it's the best World Cup I've ever seen, and we're only just over halfway. But these games are starting to really heat up, and I'm really excited to see Brazil and Mexico. I think that's going to be a fantastic game. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the fixtures tomorrow, because we've got, so 2nd of July, we've got Brazil, Mexico, and then we've got Belgium and Japan. That could have been us. It could have been us versus Japan. So we get an extra day of rest, which is always a good thing. And by the way, the other quarter-final that has been set in stone, other than Russia and Croatia, was, of course, Uruguay and France. So, again, avoided that one. And then on the 3rd of July, we've got the Sweden-Switzerland game, and then, of course, the big one, Colombia versus England. So, if I was to predict it now, I think Switzerland are probably going to beat Sweden. That's just my feeling now. It could change, obviously. I mean, Sweden were fantastic in their last game. So I think we will beat Colombia and we'll meet Switzerland in the quarters. And I think we can take them on. I think we can beat Switzerland. And then if we make it into the semis, if we beat Switzerland, I think we'll see Croatia there. And then it will be an all-out battle to get into the final. And if I quickly... So I think Brazil will go through and Belgium will. I think Brazil will beat Belgium. France will beat Uruguay. So it'll be Belgium... No, it'll be Brazil-France in the other semis. France into the final. Do you know what? It could genuinely be England-France in the final or Croatia-France. That's kind of what I'm feeling now. France will make it. And if they don't, then it'll be Brazil. I don't think Uruguay are going to beat France. You know, Uruguay are a very good, solid team defensively, but any team with Mbappe running at them is going to be terrifying. With Griezmann and Giroud, they're all in good form now. France have really stepped it up, so it's going to be interesting to see how these games go down. But for me right now, I'm just focusing on every single game as it comes, but looking out for what could happen to England in the future rounds. And it's funny how the game against Belgium, a lot of people, including myself, were a little bit disappointed that we didn't go for the win there. It looked like we didn't really try, but it has worked out for us, hasn't it? And now with Spain going out, with Denmark going out, who, let's face it, they are a good team, it's getting easier for us. But I actually think it could be a bad thing. I really feel like sometimes you've got to play the best earlier on in the tournament to get match fit and ready against these quality sides. Instead, we're going to get potentially, I keep using the word potentially as well because obviously this is football, anything can happen, but potentially an easier route to the semis, and we won't be ready to face the quality sides like Croatia, Brazil, France, whoever it may be. So a lot of the big teams are out, But a lot of these lesser teams, as we call them, are playing so well, out of their skin, and getting the luck they need to progress. Any game is going to be tough for England, but hashtag it's coming home seems more and more likely every single day. So I'll be back tomorrow with another match review if the matches are worth reviewing. I'm guessing they will be after seeing all of these games in the World Cup so far. And also I do want to bring some more career mode content. I'm just not feeling it right now because of the World Cup fever, I guess. So I might wait until the end of the World Cup. We'll see, but maybe some one-off videos in between. I'm going to do some transfer videos as well. So thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe. Well done to Russia and well done to Croatia. Hopefully we'll be avoiding you both, even though that's impossible if we keep winning. But thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.